Okay, this is a message to the COMM 101 Introduction or Fundamentals of Public Speaking class 80N, and let's start with some housekeeping situations. Number one, please read every single word of every assignment. If anything, there's too much information there to try to help you figure out everything you need to figure out. The number of you that said you didn't know anything about submitting an ID, photo ID, and in fact the number of you who still haven't done it is fairly astonishing, and that is beyond my belief. I even sent out a special copy of where it said to do a photo ID. That same area talked to you about doing a speech outline and speaker notes for your speech. The number of you who did not submit that is astonishing. And as a result of not reading the various things, still a fair number of you haven't submitted any of the, or some of the discussion board assignments. Now, the reason it's absolutely crucial to read everything carefully is because there's information there that can be of great assistance to you. For instance, at one point on the discussion board it says, after you submit your answer, comment on the answer of other submissions. It may say 1 or 2, or it may say 1, whatever. All right, if you don't get full credit on the discussion board, you're giving away points in this class. And some of you did not get full credit because, 1, you put up your answer, but you never commented on anyone else's. I know it's picky, but this is a course where you've got to learn to do what it is that is required and follow the directions carefully. I'm also hearing from some who say, well, this isn't the way they did it in the other online course I took or other online courses I took. Each online course functions slightly differently from each other online course depending on the teacher and the teacher requirements. For instance, some speech classes actually require you, online speech classes, used to require you to show up one time so that they could really identify who you were. Other classes require you to participate in discussion boards 3 times a week. That's not this class. You've got to understand and follow the rules for this class. I have people tell me, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, you know, there's a course calendar there. And the course calendar tells you specifically every single thing you're supposed to be doing as you do it. Now, I don't know how much easier we can make it. It tells you when the tests are due, and some haven't taken the test. It also tells you if you're taking the test and you have a problem, call me immediately. And if I'm anywhere near a computer, I can reset the test for you. Some people went in to take the test and they had a problem. They didn't call me, and I discovered the problem, and for the first time only, I will not do this again. I reset a couple of tests. I will not do that. Unless you tell me you had a problem, I'm not going to go in and voluntarily fix something until I know that you've recognized you have a problem. Some of you are apparently having problems uplinking your video to the right spot. I actually had this week 2 people who apparently are relatives, and they submitted their videos under the other person's name. So if John Jones was submitting the video was submitted under the name of Henry Smith. Guess how much confusion that causes when I'm trying to get grades and things. People, you have got to be very, very precise. Now, another thing, the instructions on the speech say 3 to 4 minutes in length. Generally, I allow a little slop time. I'm kind of easy on that. You can, if it says 3 minutes, then I'll give you 2:45. Less than 2:45? No, I'm sorry. You have not made the minimal requirement of the length of that speech. If it says 3 to 4 minutes, then 4:15, okay, I'll give you to 4:15. But beyond that, no, you have not practiced. Now, I'll tell you, you'll speed up or slow down a little bit when you actually give the speech. Another thing you were told about, do not stand in front of a window or bright lights. The iris on the camera, just like your eye, when it's real bright outside, it irises down. And when it irises, see what the picture is doing and changing because of different things that are going on? You stand in front of a bright light and you try to give a speech, the iris on the camera closes down so much to allow for the fact that it's taking the video of the bright lights, that you become a silhouette. I can't see your face. I can't see your eyes. You're not talking to me. I don't know if you are. All right. The other thing is, stand still when you give a speech. This kind of stuff or this kind of stuff doesn't make it. Another thing. Yes, I'm sitting down. Don't you sit down. Never, but never, but never do you do a speech unless you have an ADA reason for doing that speech. And so far, I have no ADA reasons on file with me. Unless you have an ADA reason, you need to be standing. Women, you have a tendency in your hair situation to do this, and I'm not sure how aware you are that you do it, but that little piece of hair starts to hang down, and instead of reaching up and brushing it back, you do what I call the flip. And I want to tell you that is the most annoying thing you could ever do. A lot of you are doing the flip multiple times. Fix your hair, spray it, do something so it doesn't annoy you to the point that you keep doing that while you're speaking. Imagine what that looks like to your audience. Another thing, women especially, but men do it too, and you're going to hear me tell you this in my critiques. Do that little, when you're talking, you have this tendency to say things and make a sound with your mouth that is really annoying. It's what I call the tisk. Get rid of the tisk. Know that you do it. Watch for and, ums, uhs. Terribly annoying. Work on flow. Get from one point to another. It says to prepare a speaker outline, and so have it in your hand. Use it to speak. That's your kind of blueprint to get from one point to another in your speech. All right? There's a lot of stuff there. We're going to pause now on that, and I'm going to go into critiques of each speech by the fantasy name that I was given. If you didn't give me a fantasy name, I have made up a fantasy name for you, but you're not going to know who you are. Hey, send me the fantasy name, and you will know who you are, and it won't be a problem. So let's stop this portion of the presentation, and we'll get into another tape in just a moment.